The World Cup has finally begun. 4 groups have played games. The 3 hosts are undefeated, and the Socceroos pounce on Türkiye. This is the Stateside Soccer Show. My name is Jordan, and with me, as always, is Logan. How are you today, Logan?
Oh, I'm on cloud nine, Jordan. You've got World Cup all day, every day. It seems like, and then the weekends here, so that's always nice. And we've got a whole month of action. I think they said it's like 20 some days before we don't have a World
A
Cup
game.
game. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to this episode, and we've got a ton to talk about. There's a lot that's gone on.
We do. Real quick, what mic is it connected to right now? Because it sounded very windy when you first answered. So I was wondering if it's your headphone mic.
Now it should be fixed.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, look at that. I'm like a new man. Yeah, it was connected to my headset.
Yeah, 2 episodes in less than a week, Logan. What year is this? 2022? Feels like it's been a while since we've had episodes like this.
I was gonna say this is a first for us in a while. So it's
Yeah,
good to
long
see you,
time.
Jordan. You haven't changed that much
No.
over the stretch of the time that we've been
But
recording.
Tuesday to Sunday, yeah. So for people listening, I'm going to try to turn this around pretty quick, but we are recording during Germany Curacao. Currently 1-0 Germany. 16 minutes in. So all of our stats and opinions are from any time before that. But I'm hoping to get this up probably around the time of Netherlands, Japan, or shortly after. So look, people are probably not going to be listening to that while they're watching all these games. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about stats, in case if anything has changed since this recording. But I guess let's start with the U.S. men's national team, right? Then we'll that's the bulk of the show. Then we'll take a look at the other teams that have played. I think what we'll probably do is highlight the U.S. men's national team game, talk the Australia-Türkiye game, since that is our opponents, and then kind of, smaller topics about the remaining groups as it goes. But what did you think, Logan? First World Cup games have taken place. We kicked off on Thursday. We had 2 games then, 2 games Friday. Yesterday was the first day of 4 matches. What's the World Cup vibes like for you so far?
You know what's really weird? When I first turned on the World Cup on its inaugural day, I guess you can call it, for this version of it, it was weird because it feels, and I think it's because we've gotten older. And I don't know what it is about time that makes it go so fast when you get older, but it feels like we were just doing this last year for some reason. It feels like World
Now,
Cup
to
was.
be fair, right? Like,
That's true. Yeah,
it was in December, so it was
right.
3.5 instead of 4. But still, the point remains. I mean, I was thinking about how much we grew in 2022 due to the World Cup, and
Yeah,
I was thinking back to that. I'm like, it wasn't that long ago, but it also was, but it feels like yesterday at
yeah,
times. Getting back on here after the Netherlands game, because we did like a show. I think we did the live show right after the Netherlands match when we lost and got knocked out, and that was so brutal. And then I think one thing that helps speed it up, not just the time aspect, but specifically about the World Cup and about this, is that we were hosting it and we didn't have to qualify, so we didn't really have up and downs with qualification. It's just like we knew
right.
we were in the World Cup. And then we had the bomb out that we did in Copa America in 2024, which we all saw was this big test, a year and a half after the World Cup and 2 years before this one. And it was just so deflating. And then you spend however long looking for a new coach, right? And then I think it was probably fall of 24 by the time Pochettino's hired. That gives them like a year and a half. Like, if that helps fly by too, is that we were kind of all down on this team going in, I think, because we weren't sure. I think we had a few episodes, Logan, where we're like, are they squandering the chance of hosting this tournament?
Right. And I think too, when you're younger, it feels there are so many very important things going on in your life.
You got
And
school, you
right.
got, your first
Friendship,
girlfriend or
social, yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
It's all that, like, it's college, and then, we had the Disney college program, but it does, it feels strange just because, and I know it's, 6 months or so shorter of a time that we had to wait, but it feels like just yesterday we were watching this team play, and now you've got guys in whole different stages of their careers on the
Yeah.
U.S. men's national team. But Jordan, I think this is the best sporting event without question, across all of my sporting events that I watch. I mean, my Pacers were in the finals, and I loved every minute of
Last year,
that.
not this
Right.
year.
But yeah, no. But it's just like, I don't know. There's just something about it that's so magical about watching games, constantly. I mean, you're having a day today of 4 games where there are 4 games being played, and I think that, 5 if you include them playing at midnight last night. So it's just, it's a fun time, and just seeing the world come together in a way. I mean, you've seen the videos, and I'm sure everybody's seen the videos on TikTok of everybody coming together. It's just, I think, a very magical time. It's the world's game, so everybody's involved, and it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, geez, Fox's graphic for this Germany game said "Welcome, Freddie."
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
yeah,
talk about bringing people together.
right.
Um, yeah, this is it, and I think if we segue into the U.S. game of it all, right? We win the first game 4-1 over Paraguay. I think we both kind of. Oh, Curacao just equalized. Okay, the
That's
tiniest
wild.
nation. This is what the sport's about. This is what you were just talking about. Like, uh, this is the tiniest nation to qualify ever, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Or very close to
160,000
that, right?
people. Yep.
That's less people than like the city they're playing in,
Yeah.
and they're here, and they just equalized against Germany. Germany, one of the, I would say, I wouldn't say favorites, but
It's
one of the teams that have a chance of winning this tournament. But anyway, what we were just saying, U.S. men's national team win their first game against Paraguay 4-1. We did the deep dive last week about, look, we beat them 2-1 last time, and I kind of, that was my prediction, was 2-1 for this game. So seeing us come out and just put immediate pressure, we're pressing. Baba Dia scores the own goal 7 minutes in, right? And then you're like, okay, just like, how many times I've seen people talk about this, have we taken a lead like against Wales in 2022 and then kind of sit back and try to defend that lead? But we don't do that here, right? We just keep pressing, we keep playing Pochettino football, and it leads to Balogun scoring in the 31st and 45th +5 to give us a 3-0 lead at the half, which was probably the best half. I wouldn't even say probably, which was the best half I have seen us play on this sort of stage. I know people might say, "Hey, we beat Spain in the Confederations Cup, and we'd had a really good, final against Brazil before we blew it." And then the Confederations Cup is not the World Cup level, right?
mm,
And then even if you're talking about better wins, right? I can understand. Like, yeah, obviously, I think the win against Mexico in the round of 16 and the '02 World Cup is probably a bigger deal because we get to the quarters and we almost beat Germany to get to the semis. But actual playing, the style of soccer, the style of football, this was the best I have ever seen the U.S. men's national team look at a big tournament like this. Probably even I don't even think I've seen us look like this in a friendly or in qualifying against CONCACAF opponents looking this good.
yeah, I think everybody has said it that I've listened to that have watched this country play for the decades that they have now played in these big competitions, and this doesn't even come close for a lot of people. I mean, they're like, we've beaten some good teams, but it's been, those really exciting finishes, and it's been at the death, or it's been a real close game. And much like you said, Jordan, this is easily the first time I've ever seen the U.S. proactive in the way that they attack and just were relentless. I mean, it was. I was texting you. It was funny because they kept bringing up the fact that during the game, and Stu Holden made a really good point. He goes, during the game, you saw the changes that Pochettino was making in real time, which Jordan, I mean, there were times we were begging Berhalter to change anything at points. And, we've been such a country that I think has been, kind of sit back and try to punch back as much as possible. But I mean, this was a complete dominant performance by the US. And even when they score that goal, when it goes 3-1, I kind of wanted to see how the US was going to respond, because Jordan,
Yeah.
a three goal difference in a first game is, I mean, if you look at the data that backs that, I mean, it's pretty clear that the US would have to really stumble and fumble to drop into a second spot now. So it's amazing how much that gap can be created in a first game like this. And they came out and completed a performance that was historic in so many different ways. And that was really exciting, because you and I have definitely never seen something like this.
You talk about Pochettino making the adjustments. It's not something he's really done with us so far. So that was
Right.
a nice touch, because like, there were games in these friendlies where we would start off good and then like the other team makes the adjustment and then we get like blown out, like against Belgium, So seeing him be able to make adjustments, and then I think he made the right subs at the right time. We'll talk about the Pulisic issue later, I guess. But, then like you said, Maurizio scores in the 73rd minute, and then Reina, 90 plus 8, scoring with the outside of his foot, the nice curve into the back of the net to just kind of put it away, right? I mean, it was already like at the death. I think we didn't even play another play after this. But, it was just a nice finish to what was just a fantastic night. A night I will remember for the rest of my life, like that's what World Cups are for. And having like your best ever performance in a World Cup be at the one at home so far in the first game. The first game is crucial because this is the game that the casuals are checking out, right? This is the game. It's a Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's games people are checking out and seeing, and to change the narrative. Like we said, going into this tournament, the narrative was, kind of a little bit better with the warm-up games. But if you look back to what we had, even earlier in the year with under Pochettino, when we got smacked by Belgium and stuff, or when you look at even, I was talking with my friend Ron, who was talking about the, just how far, like the Reina stuff with the Berhalter stuff, and just like that's what we were coming off of that World Cup, and it was like, even when we performed well in that, and we beat Iran to get to the knockout stages, and we have to go up against the Dutch, and there was times we looked good against the Dutch, and then ended up not winning. Then you have that news breakout about all this BS going on, and that kind of dominated this whole cycle, mainly because we didn't have qualification to change the narrative at all, right? I mean, people still bring it up about especially when Reina made the squad after not really playing for his club team. To be able to put all that to bed in the first game, not like you struggled in the first game and then you have this game, the second game, and then it's like people will be like, well, yeah, but remember how they struggled in the first game? Like this is the one that sets the tone for the tournament. And look, they may not play this well again in the tournament, but I did not expect it. I would expect it like a 2-1, victory. And then you have to go up against Australia and probably win like 1-0, 2-0 is what I was thinking there. And then you have Türkiye, which is going to be what I thought was going to be the toughest game. We'll see if that changes after what we just witnessed last night, right? But it changes things, because getting 3 points though right off the bat and doing it with a 3-goal difference, when you talk about the expanded format, Logan, and you talk about third place teams and the 8 best of those, like I think we're almost guaranteed to get through at this point.
100%.
Like, like having that goal difference, unless you really give up a lot of goals against
They
Australia, and
have
Turkey,
to get smashed.
right? But like you've almost guaranteed getting through, but that shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be to win this group after that great start.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point with the expanded format. And something that was interesting too to me, Jordan, was the fact that you mentioned that it was nice for the casuals to see that first game. And now everybody I talk to, I know a lot of people have a holiday on Juneteenth, which is great, but some of us do work. I've got friends that are more casual soccer fans that were texting me during the game. It is funny. I've got people that are sending me stuff because I'm the soccer person in our friend group, and you get these text messages from people or even my family mentioning that they would catch some of the World Cup games here and there as they were working, or on the off days and the weekend. It's just cool because it Jordan, I think if they tuned in last time, or even with the magical runs that they had with like Dempsey and Jermaine Jones, like that's been a bit
Yeah,
removed from, and then they missed that whole
12
World
years ago.
Cup in 2018. So
Yeah,
it's been
really
a
set us
long
back.
time. Right. It's been a long time since I think the most excited people have been since this game probably goes all the way back to when they were playing against Portugal
Yeah,
in the middle of the night. Like that just feels like that far of a gap between when people have been excited about soccer in this country. And I heard so many people talk about the fact that just one game like that, it has the whole world talking. I mean, we're on X all the time.
yeah.
We see all of our compadres, the Brits that are talking because we follow a lot of the Premier League. They're like, no, like this US team is for real. I mean, when Brazilian fans and Argentinian fans and all of the European clubs and stuff are tweeting about our US players, and it's cool that they're hosting it, but man, look how well they're doing. It
The
it
little op-ed Giroux wrote
right.
for the
Yes.
BBC. I mean, that was
Right.
nice for about
It's
Pulisic.
it really starts to bring the US into focus. And there were so many videos out there. And you think about it, I mean, are the odds of the US being an underdog story in soccer in 100 years is probably not likely. I mean, the fact that we have so
Mhm.
many people, the infrastructure in this country is so strong when it comes to youth sports. It's a matter of time before the US does become a big giant in the football world. This might have been, Jordan, the first game of this World Cup might have been that set in stone. Here we come. This is going to get real interesting from here on out. And
Just think there
it's
is
so
some,
cool.
like, I don't know, like maybe like a 6 to 8-year-old that this was his first
Yeah.
World Cup game watching, and
Mhm.
that was it. I mean, that can change the trajectory of what sport he wants to play, what he's
Yes.
interested, like those are the moments that you're looking for as a homework. I mean, we're already hearing that it's like one of the most watched World Cup games in the States.
Yeah.
So
And World Cups ever because of how big it's been in
yeah,
the
yeah,
US. So,
yeah. So I mean, that's the type of thing that really helps it helps us going forward. While you're never going to convince some of the dinosaurs of the sport, right? But the kids that are growing up with these, like I said before, I've seen a kid in my area wearing a Lamine Yamal jersey.
yes.
There are kids out there that this is the accessibility of this sport.
Mhm.
With one, the cost isn't as high when you talk about regular rec
Right.
league, right? Because you don't have to do as much equipment. You might still have
Mhm.
to pay a lot to enter the league, but you're not buying bats. You're buying like maybe one ball and some
Right.
cleats and shin guards.
Cleats. Yep.
But when you look at uh, the accessibility of it's so many leagues. There's games on in the morning, there are games on at night. There's a game on like every time. Like even last night, there was USL
Yeah.
games on during the World
Right.
Cup and between World Cup games. Like
Yeah.
there's always some sort of game on somewhere that can feed that addiction and get people interested. It's always soccer season
Yeah.
in the world somewhere.
I was gonna say, just get on FOTMob at any time. Click the left hand. There's on the left hand side,
Yeah.
it's the clock. If you click on the clock, it puts it in time instead of league order, and it's just like all the time. I mean, it doesn't matter where you
Yeah.
are, Asia, and then it moves over to the, African nations and European nations, and then you're like, dang,
And a
they're
lot of
playing
those
all
are
the time.
on some sort of streaming. Like,
Yeah,
Paramount has rights, Fox has
ESPN has a
rights,
ton of rights
ESPN
now.
has rights,
Yeah,
Peacock has rights. Like they all have rights to these tournaments.
yeah.
All right. So here's some fun stats. These stats are by Opta and also by Paul Carr. I saw a lot of people tweeting these out. Balogun is the first US player to score 2 goals in a game since 1930. Logan, that's the first World Cup ever.
Yeah.
1930.
Yeah.
When
That's wild.
Bert Padinude scored a hat trick. He's also the first guy to score a hat trick in a World Cup, was old Bert. And it was also
Big
against
Bert, baby.
Paraguay.
Yeah.
It was also against Paraguay. But yeah, so Balogun, it's hard to believe that like Dempsey never scored 2 a game, Donovan never scored 2 a game, but that is the case. We had a lot of games back then where we either went goalless or it's like 1 goal, you know, or even if it is 2, it's like, yeah, I'm thinking like Slovenia, like Michael Bradley scored 1.
You know what
I'm saying? So
Yedlin
like,
had some
yeah,
goals. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, I mean, it is crazy, but pretty cool for Balogun.
Jordan, another thing with that,
Yep.
just like before we go, like you and I were talking literally to end last episode about the fact that Mbappe had what 7 goals last World Cup to win the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
So Balogun has, was it 8, 7 or 8? One of them, but he already has 2, so he's already about over the quarter of the way. So that's just to put that in perspective.
He keeps playing that way. I mean,
yeah,
he might get a big move,
right?
I mean,
huge.
That's
might go to Arsenal.
U.S. men's national team scored 4 goals in a game at the World Cup for the first time ever. They won by 3 goals for the 3rd time, and it's also the first time since 1930. We had 2 wins in 1930 that were 3-0 over Paraguay and over Belgium.
That 1930 team was a hell of a force.
Yeah, they were, weren't they? That's crazy.
But yeah, that's wild to me.
Chris Richards completed all 83 passes, the most with 100% accuracy since 1966. We're talking record-breaking stuff, not just for the U.S. men's national team, but for the World Cup. That's pretty crazy.
And competitions that Pele and Messi have been in, and Ronaldo.
Yeah,
I mean, this is stuff that they're doing. It's just nuts.
I think the previous highest was I think John Stones had like 71.
Yeah,
in a World Cup.
Was recent too.
It was. Yeah, but I guess it wasn't as high as whatever happened in 66 because Richards has 83. Every time the U.S. men's national team has won their first game, they moved on from the group. And like we said, look, I don't think Paraguay is the easiest team in the group. I don't think they're the hardest. I always thought they were in the middle, but we'll talk about what happened with Straya, and we'll see what happens there. But it just feels good to win, and we were just talking that most likely they've moved on. I'll tell you, vibes will shift real quick if they don't move on after this game.
Yeah. No, yeah.
The vibes will be crushing. People will be like, I'm not playing soccer.
Right. They might just burn down all the soccer stadiums at that point in the US just to get rid of it all, just like burn it off like excess fat. But Jordan, I was telling you this, if you go player by player, I mean, it was a world-class performance from Jordan players that, I mean, we were talking about in April and May of how we were not excited to see whatever was really going to happen. Like we were playing with Diego Luna in February going, hey, this might be actually more fun than anything. So
yeah,
I don't know. It felt like the world was caving in 2 months ago. And now we're sitting the highest we've ever sat in a position with this team, which is just unthinkable. This is what we were excited about, Jordan, 4 years ago or wherever it was when they decided, that they were going to turn their attention to this World Cup now because, man, it's been a whirlwind. But you just go up and down that list. I mean, between Pulisic and you've got Jedi and you've got Tyler Adams, who I didn't think was great, but was very good and sound in his position. I think Alex Freeman was just world class. Dest again. Another top performance, and then Balogun, who we've always been looking for that 9 to just kind of solidify that attack, has finally shown up.
But before I was going to say what I'm going to say, just for the listener to keep track on where we're at in this Germany game, Germany just took the lead again in the 38th. Okay, so now you know where we are in our World Cup thing there. But I was going to say, Balogun, look, maybe this is an overreaction, but with how good he looked against Senegal, and how good he was in this game. I'm thinking he's it. He's the answer. He was the striker we've been looking for this whole time. I know there was some question going into this where people were like, they prefer Pepe. I've kind of leaned more Balogun anyway, but like
Mhm.
it was good to get Pepe on the field and stuff and try to get him some chances after we had the lead. But I think Ballo is it. I think he is the guy that we've been looking for, and I just want to thank his parents for making a quick stop in New York before having the kid, because that has helped us tremendously.
Yeah, it is jarring. Like I said, we've got friends that Darren especially, he was texting and he's like, "Are all these guys like trying to understand? Are these American or are they Americans?" And I was like, "I think there's only two like legit like as far as like both parents started in the U.S. I think the other ones are immigrants from other places who have a parent that's from also Europe that was also." I was like, I couldn't think of. I think Reyna's Claudio's from I don't know where Claudio's from. He was the one I was like back and forth
He's
with,
from the
but I
U.S.
was like, is he?
I mean,
Like,
he was an
like his
American player.
yeah, but I mean, it's funny because the U.S. I feel like we are the biggest melting pot, so it's never really like straight laced as far as what people consider.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because
We
there's people that have
definitely have
never. There are people that maybe their grandparents were
yes,
Italian, but they think themselves really Italian. Like I mean,
right,
like I'm rooting for Germany as like I like to see them do well because I'm German, but it's like that's like from the 1800s coming over here.
yeah.
It's not like it's
My
not like my dad is German or something.
yeah,
So
my
there is a
favorite
little bit
thing.
of difference.
One of my favorite videos I've seen so far is that all the angry Americans that are pro Americans being born in America and not having the birthrights. The I think it's funny that they're rooting for people that they are considered Americans because of where their birthrights are, and I think it's an interesting dynamic when people are rooting for. Serginho Dest's first language is Spanish, I believe, and Balogun's got an English accent. So it is funny that so many are grumpy and oh, this is our US, but it's also like these players wouldn't be on this team if it wasn't for the birthrights, and that we get to celebrate these people because we are who we are as a country. It's cool to have all these players that can come from different backgrounds like the US.
A couple corrections. Dest's native language is Dutch. He's
Is
from
it
the
Dutch?
Netherlands.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought he spoke Spanish.
But he probably does because he plays there.
Yeah.
At times. But so he probably knows 3 languages.
I was gonna say
But
I know he speaks Spanish, I believe.
Claudio, just to confirm, and his mom and Gio's mom were born here, but Claudio's dad immigrated here from Argentina. So it
Okay.
is like Gio's grandfather was the one from Argentina. So closer than most people to like that being like I guess he's a second gen is what we would
I was
call
gonna
them,
say
right? Gio
it
is
would
like
be
a
the
second gen.
grandparents. Yeah, it's literally like almost like the grandfathering in of their US because all of them, a
Yeah.
lot of their grandparents came from different countries, which is so cool because it allows us to have players from all sorts of different walks.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is part of what makes the country so great, right? Like, is the melting pot aspect, and then you're able to, maybe poach some of those players to
I
play
was
for
gonna
the
say,
national team.
you have a wider net to cast.
You do. You have a
can,
much wider net,
you
not only
really
because you
do.
have 350 million people in this country,
Right.
but also because you have
Not
anybody
far
that
removed
was,
from being Brazil.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
like, there's a guy playing in what's his name? The last name's Brown that's playing with Germany today. He could technically play for the US because his
Yes, yeah.
grandparents. It's so
Uh,
cool.
Only Landon Donovan has contributed more goals for the men's national team in a World Cup since 1990 than Christian Pulisic. So Pulisic has 4. He's tied with Dempsey. Donovan has contributed 5. Uh, U.S. men's national team's 7th-minute goal is the 3rd fastest scored by a host nation in their opening match since France in 1938 having a minute and Germany scoring 6 minutes in 06. So we had a really quick goal as a host nation. I'm trying to think of like first games by a host nation. we had to be up there in performance, right? Like Qatar
I
didn't do well in their first game, so
I was gonna
I'd have to
say,
look at like Russia and Brazil
yeah, I
to
think they
really
said it.
check. 'Cause South Africa was a 1-1 game for
Yeah,
theirs.
they said it's been a really long time. I can't remember the date, but it's been a really long time since a host nation has come out like that.
Yeah, I mean that's insane. If I look at 2018's Russia's first game was I think it wasn't that high of a score. Oh no, never mind. It was. They beat Saudi Arabia 5-0. So that's probably it's the best since 2018, which means
Yeah,
one World Cup in between them.
yeah,
But if you say it's the best since 2018, it sounds like 8 years.
it's been a
Um,
long time.
it's been a long time. Doesn't matter that there's only one other World Cup in between there.
Yeah,
Uh,
where the U.S. has shown up.
yeah, especially where we have shown up.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say we were at 2018. That's why we forget where Russia finished.
yeah, because I mean, I was tapped in because I was watching the World Cup, but I wasn't like. It was also a
Didn't
really
feel the
bad time
same.
for me because I didn't have the flexibility at work or anything, and it was like a very, what Russia. Those games would start at like
Oh, those
earlier
were
than
brutal
they were
start
like
times.
noon and
Yeah,
maybe a
those
little
were
before.
bad start times for people in our stage of life
Yeah,
because we were working.
and it was pre-COVID, so there wasn't a lot of work from home.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so we have anything else about the US game before we dive into some of these like Australia, Türkiye?
No, I mean, I think we can talk, kind of like maybe some things that the US can do playing against
Yeah.
Australia on Friday when we look forward, so we can move on to the what happened elsewhere.
All right, so Australia underdogs come in and took a lead against Türkiye through Iron Kunda in the 27th minute after what was like domination by Türkiye, and then Metcalf puts it away in the 75th minute. Logan, I'm going to highlight Beach, the goalkeeper from Australia, the Melbourne City FC man. So maybe City has his rights here. Maybe they can get him in there. He puts in a great performance. He had 8 saves, 5 of which were diving saves. That's right. Thought Mob gave me great stats about even what type of save
Diving.
it was. He was also able to quickly get the ball out of the box and into the player's feet, which sprung that counterattack goal by Iran Kunda. And he's only 22 years old, Beach. So he goes out there. Australia faced 30 shots, 14 of which were in the box, 16 outside of the box. 8 of those, like I said, were on target. Beach made 8 of those saves. Türkiye, Logan touched the ball 51 times in the opponent box. Okay. Compared to Australia's 9 shots, 4 on target, and only 18 touches in the opponent's box. Türkiye, as of this time, leads the cup in shots, touches in the opponent's box. Okay. Now, I said in my notes until Germany probably does this while we're recording against Curacao, but I'll have to check the stats there because Curaçao's kind of hanging in there. And defensively, Australia had 15 tackles, 7 interceptions, 12 blocks, and 55 clearances. And that led like the defensive stats in the World Cup in any game when I was looking. Where we currently stand right now with Germany is they have 15 shots, 4 on target, 36 touches in the opponent box right before halftime. So they might do better than the 51, but I don't know if they're getting another 15 shots off. We'll see there. So some of those stats might still be good. And it was a relatively clean game, Logan. Only 1 yellow card was produced throughout that whole Australia-Türkiye match. And it looks like we just had
Germany with the
a penalty. Yeah, Germany might take a third goal here, which will be for the Germans watching this. Probably Freddie in there is probably like, oh my God, we gave a goal up to Curacao. But Australia played a hell of a game. Türkiye dominated it, but Australia just really good at springing that counterattack. They have, so when we're kind of positing this towards what we were expecting going forward, Australia's going to sit back. We knew that. We have question marks on the defense, especially when you talk about Tim Ream, who had like a decent game, but also he he didn't really face a lot of those like quick transitions that might happen in this one, where I might be a little worried about it. And Matt Freese wasn't really tested enough either. And I probably would have went Turner over Freese, but I think Pulch really likes Freese. So what's your thoughts here on how Australia looks if we face them Friday at 3:00?
Yeah, this game was interesting to watch. I watched it this morning. I recorded it, and for those out there that are listening, don't open FOTMob because it keeps it on the previous day until the next games start, which is lovely. So I figured that
really
out.
Mine
Quickly.
didn't do that.
I opened it this morning and it was right on the Australia score. I was like, "Oh, perfect." It's like,
were you trying to go spoiler free? Is that what?
Yeah, because I was trying to see when the first game. I was trying to see if Germany started at noon or 1. I couldn't remember which one it started at. But I was just trying to check, and then I was spoiled. But then I just watched it anyway, just because I wanted to see, and I like watching those games.
Scouting,
right? Yeah, I was taking some notes. No, I think it's really interesting, Jordan, because I mean they're calling it a huge upset, but if you look at the rankings, they're only 5 spots behind. Australia's only 5 spots behind Türkiye. I know Turkey is a talented team on roster, but I think there's just not a lot to compare when you're talking about the Oceania and some of these Asian countries that don't really get to travel as much to play. Some of the European countries, I think it's kind of more shot in the dark, and they play. They play within Asia or the Oceania, and it's hard to really gauge. I think, especially continent to continent, it's hard to like compare them because they just don't play the same teams.
And FIFA rankings are BS anyway.
Yeah, they are. I mean, but it does give you a good idea as to like who's good and who's not.
Yeah.
So it was interesting watching this game. Like you said, I mean, Beach stood on his head, and they're like, "Is this the nicest beach in Australia?" Because they do have some nice beaches, which I found to be very funny.
They actually say that.
Yes,
I was in Spanish.
Rebecca Lowe, I think, said it in like a podcast after the game.
That's a very good Rebecca Lowe.
Yes, but she, everybody's been talking about the fact that, and they were talking about this before the game in the English broadcast. They were talking about how they had left their veteran goalkeeper off the roster, and like they brought in Beach to be a debutant, and they were worried about how that might look because Türkiye is good.
When I was listening to previews, people were like, "Wait, they left their more experienced keeper at home," but people are really high on Beach, and you see why.
Right. I mean, he looked great, and he's gonna. This is a stage where if you play well, those big teams will come a calling. So I mean, this can be career changing for some of these players, and they look good, Jordan. And I will say though, there is, just because of who I support club wise when City plays, when they're talking about all these touches in box and stuff like that. Yes, there is an impressive amount of defense being played, but that can also come with the caveat of like they got that many touches in the box. Had they played well and converted anything, they would have beat the hell out of them. So that's another thing for me when people are like, "Oh, they're going to struggle against Australia because look how well they played defensively." I was like, they were kind of forced to play like that because that's how they play. And if the US play like they did, man, they're going to force a lot of issues to Australia.
Yeah, I think the takeaway I get from those type of stats is like, look, Turkey had the chances, they had the opportunity, they couldn't put away. Australia played really well, but when I look at it like this, is I don't even think Paraguay had enough time to even really play that way against us. So I don't think we've had that test yet. So I'll be really curious because we're not typically good at in the past, I would say, of like breaking opponents down that sit back, right? There's been times in qualifying where you're playing against inferior competition in CONCACAF and you win 1-0, or it's almost 0-0 until maybe very late when you break through. This one thing we have going for us, it's a home World Cup. It's going to be in Seattle. It's going to be probably mostly USA fans, right? Yeah. Especially after that performance that we just had. And that stadium too, how it's constructed, with this, keeping the sound
ruckus.
In, it's going to be loud. It's going to be loud.
It's ruckus in that Seattle area.
So I feel good about the game still, but it's just our defense wasn't as tested. And I wonder if our offense will be able to break them down like that, or play a different way than they had to against Paraguay, where they're really going to have to probably whip some balls in at times, or really take shots a little earlier, maybe quicker touches at times than what we just had against Paraguay, where there was a little bit more open space at times, for Ballo to run behind. Australia may not provide that. But you are right that if Australia giving up that much possession in it, it's like, well, if you can just convert those chances and those shots, 30 shots, like I said, is the most so far
it's crazy.
in the tournament.
It's a lot.
There's also the execution error by Türkiye. So it's. I'm hoping we don't get a letdown. I'll even take a draw. If you get 4 points out of the first 2 games, you are guaranteed to go through. Okay, because of the third place teams. So I feel rather good about it. And it makes me feel better about facing Türkiye, actually, because I think maybe they don't look as strong as I thought they were going to look. I mean, like, they dominated it, but they just didn't have that finish, that final touch in the final third, that I'm like, maybe we can just like beat them, and do what I did in EAFC the other day, which is sweep the group stage, get all 9 points,
Türkiye definitely, and I will say this, Jordan, right now, without any bias, the U.S. put together the most complete performance we've seen from any country, which includes the likes of South Korea, Brazil, Morocco, even Germany at this point. I mean, to be close enough to where Curacao is sniffing, it's like the U.S. has easily played the most poetic looking.
They've played
soccer.
The best so far, yeah.
And I think there's a lot to be said about that. Like you said, we are in the mindset. If you're a more casual U.S. fan, I guess you wouldn't know this as much, but this team does and has had a tendency to, when they play well, to then go out and just kind of lay an egg because they expect things to just happen. I think Pochettino is different. The way that he's talked to this club,
I think he's helped that mindset.
Yes.
I really do.
The way that he talked, Jordan, and I don't know how much they covered this in the Spanish broadcast or how much
I wouldn't know.
Right, you were like, "What the hell is he talking about?" But
I heard Pochettino.
Yeah, he said something, and he said, "Hi," but I picked those words up. But yeah, no, Jordan, they were talking about in the English broadcast where there is this mentality of, and this is kind of what I like, because this is where the U.S. has not always been the big, powerful country that it has been. We were underdogs, and it was always that, why not us? Like in hockey, like that was that same, if you go watch that when the US went on that run to beat Russia, there is still this younger brother mentality in the US that I think a lot of the US fans still kind of feel, where they do feel that they are looked down upon in the soccer world, in the hockey world. I'd say in any sport besides basketball. You're kind of people looking down at the nose at some of the U.S. teams. And so I do think that there's this young dog where it's the U.S. is coming, and I feel like Pochettino is that perfect manager, which we hadn't seen yet. We hadn't seen this side of Pochettino, who comes out looking like, what'd you say, Rob Lowe? Who comes out?
Not Rob Lowe,
Russell Crowe. Yeah, Rob Lowe was at the game.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I saw somebody say that Russell Crowe should play him in the biopic of the film. I mean, it's because of his hair.
He looks so American.
When he was at Spurs, he had the short hair.
He did.
So he doesn't look as much like Russell Crowe, but like Russell Crowe has had this hairstyle before.
That flow and like the glasses too. It was such a Western look. Like he looked. I mean, he did. He looked or I think it was Raj was like, it looked like he walked right in out of Venice Beach, California. So it was very. I mean, but again, Jordan. One thing I wanted to point out is that he's got this team believing, and I think when you talk about Australia, they are also a team that believes that Jordan, like, they legitimately have a shot to be the second team out of this group now because they beat Türkiye. Like, I feel like they could very well be the team that comes out of this as the second.
If they draw against the U.S.,
they're probably through, I'd imagine.
I would think they're through.
Yeah.
But also then they just have to go up against Paraguay, and if they even if they lose that one,
Türkiye still would have to.
That'd be 4 points. Türkiye, if the U.S. beat Türkiye, I mean,
they'd be out. But Türkiye would be
out.
the third. The third group, like the third but they might be out because
They might be because they would have to then beat Paraguay. I mean,
right, and then they have to
yeah.
be the best 8 team. So yeah, like you do get into this where is gonna get real interesting, Jordan. Like Paraguay pretty much shot themselves in the foot, even in the 3 best or the 8 best third place teams. Like you cannot lose by this huge amount in this tournament. Like you cannot have a 3-point deficit or a 3-goal deficit when you come out of these games.
We'll have to see how Turkey responds as well to this
Yeah.
Australia game. They'll go up against Paraguay.
See how they respond too.
And see how they respond. But Turkey, a lot of people were favoring them to win the group.
Yeah.
The pressure is going to be on them tremendously. You know, we'll probably talk more about that next week because I'll have to see how both of those teams respond. But I mean, the U.S. could go into third game not playing for anything.
Yeah.
So that might change how that game plays. But Turkey might be coming in and playing for everything in that third game. So we'll really have to see how that game shakes out next week. The bad thing is, that Thursday night game on the 25th, I'm going to be at Hershey Park all day. I know it's a 10 o'clock start, but like we might still be on our way home or like just getting home. So
you're hoping for a big U.S. win, like a 3-0 win, 2-0 win against Australia, and then you can kind of sit back a little bit, and because then
I'll still watch.
I'm trying to think. Like let's do the math here. So if the U.S. wins at 6 points, Australia would then have 3.
Yeah, and then
say we win by 1 or 2,
Turkey and Paraguay.
Yeah, that like the U.S. has a 3+, Australia has a 2+. Say the U.S. wins 1-0, maybe even 2-0. They become really hard to catch then. Yeah. I mean, then Australia would have to beat Paraguay and beat them pretty hard, beat them pretty good to even kind of come close to the U.S. So yeah, like that's, I mean, this could get really interesting, and depending on what Turkey does the rest of the tournament. But
I mean, because if Turkey goes out there, beats Paraguay next time, they have 3 points. Australia has 3 points. We would have 3 points, and then whatever happens with us in Australia can change that. Maybe we draw 4-4-3 is what you're looking at points wise. Paraguay would have 0, but then Turkey's coming in like against us saying we can win this group still.
True. Or we could even,
if we beat Australia, that really helps us going into that last game. Get the players the rest, like Pulisic. He got kicked in the calf. He says he'll be good. But I feel like every player kind of says that. So
it looked contusion-ish. Like the TikTok doctor that I actually like following, because I do feel like he does a good job. He said it kicked him in an area where that's usually the outside of that calf is not the ends. The problem's usually the inside of the calf. That's where the Achilles can get issued. The outside of it, he goes where he was kicked, and then it showed it where like he was kind of grabbing. He's like, that's more contusion. That can be 7 to 14 days, just depending on how hard it was. And he goes, if this team would have been closer, he probably would have played in that second half.
That's what I was thinking. And you have the perk of the expanded format we haven't talked about is the rest. We now have a week. Friday to Friday. And then Friday to Thursday. So
that's crazy.
7 days and then 6 days.
Yep.
And then it's going to be, if we win the group, July 1st, and we'd be playing on the 26th. So almost a whole nother week again. So, there will be time for these. And especially, if we win that game against Australia and he plays, you could maybe bench him against Turkey unless if it's needed for the second half and just get him some game time. But maybe you could play somebody like Brendan Aronson, to get him some game time. But Tillman played pretty well against Paraguay as well. So,
Reyna came in, played well. Pepe looked fine. Yeah, Weah, I think people forget Weah's there until he checks in. They're like, holy shit, I forgot about Timothy Weah.
Yeah, we're actually
like, whoa.
So deep compared to
it is wild.
I feel like we had some of those players, just like you mentioned, Freeman wasn't even on kind of the map in 2022, I don't think, right? And then here he is, right?
Tillman either, I'd say, like Malik Tillman, probably not on that radar that much. And then you worried about, Jordan, they were naming in the English broadcast, Stu Holden was like, was it Twellman that was on our game, right?
No, Holden.
Was it Stu?
Twellman's not broadcasting.
I couldn't remember. That's right. Stu was talking about Jedi having where he didn't think he might play in this World Cup. At times, you had Chris Richards, who this
was
is his
this
first
during
World
the
Cup
U.S. game
ever.
they were talking about it, or during the
Yes.
Australia game they were talking about it?
Jordan, it blew my mind. It felt like one of those watch-alongs that like was run by the US accounts, and they were commenting on how, previewing how they would play against the US. That's how much they kept talking about. I forget who it was, the lady that was on it that was doing the she wasn't the problem. It was the guy that she was with. I don't remember his name. But like I forget her, but she was great. She was commenting Australia. She had a lot of good Australian notes. She had a good Turkey notes. But whoever was with her was just like, and then Tim Ream's gonna have to do this. I'm like, what does Tim Ream have to do with this? So it was wild. But yeah, no, Jordan, this group, man, like the U.S. could really take advantage now with how well they played, and then this result that flipped the whole table on its head. So.
All right, I guess let's get to the other groups that have been going on here. Mexico started off the whole tournament with a 2-0 victory over South Africa. 3 red cards in that game. And we also had I think I listened to a podcast where they said there was 4 red cards in total in 2022's World Cup.
Wow, that's crazy.
So he had 3
in the
already in the first game.
I will say one was not a red card. That Mexico one, the Mexico was not. That was not a red card. Like
the first or second one, because I agree with the first one.
It was it was the Mexican on South Africa.
Oh,
the last one, like the 90th minute. That was not a red card for that Mexican player. I don't remember who it was, but I don't believe that. Like everybody you hear that broke it down, they're like, he wasn't like going. That wasn't a goal denying opportunity. That was a very questionable, and I think it was is Landon Donovan on those games, and that was talking about it, where he's like, that's a really questionable call. Like that's like very borderline. He goes, that had to have been a clear yellow, but not a red.
So it looks like it was Jackie Oatley and Warren Barton on the call for the Australia game.
Dude, Warren was wild.
He's a Newcastle man, Warren Barton.
That's he loves Tim Ream.
Ream didn't play there. He played Fulham.
Yeah, I know, but he loves Tim Ream. I don't know.
Yeah, he just kept bringing him up.
Kept bringing up Tim Ream. I was like, all right.
They're probably around the same age. I'm just kidding. Warren Barton. But Tim Ream's getting up there. He's like, what, 38? All right. South Korea beat Czechia 2-1. The Czech thought that they had the lead. It's called offside correctly, by the way. But South Korea like immediately scored the winner after that. I thought South Korea was very impressive. They were the best team in the tournament up until we played, I thought. I
was going to say outside the U.S.
really good. Yeah. They were so good. Canada drew with Bosnia 1-1. Both teams get their first ever World Cup points.
Canada looked bad.
They did. Kyle Larin, though. Orlando
City legend. Yeah. And Jesse Marsh, that Benedict Arnold of a coach.
Yeah. But he doesn't want to talk about the U.S., but he will.
No.
He doesn't want
Next week he wants to. He'll talk about it every day that he gets to talk about it. Because
I remember that like one of the first times he took the job, he's like, I'm not going to address this stuff. And then right after that, he's like, but they kind of suck. Clint Dempsey had to come out because apparently Jesse Marsh said he had to like beg them to do the anthem. Logan, I almost did that as your intro of like, and here's a man I had to beg to do the national anthem.
Sing the national anthem, which I have never done. So
Germany scored again. It's 4-1.
Yeah. So, and again, Germany's Curacao, they're going to get walloped. Yeah. But Jordan, like the comment and then the bite back from Dempsey was excellent. Told him to go basically stay in his lane and get on his moped.
Marsh was assistant in 2010, I believe.
Yes.
There was no problem with us having our team in 2010 had so much fight and spirit. I just don't get. Look, even if that's a true story by Jesse Marsh, you don't have to say that.
There's a lot of that where the players don't sing the national anthem. Right. Especially U.S. players. That's
Yeah.
not a common thing.
Okay. So Bosnia took the lead there early. Canada had to equalize late. Qatar draws with Switzerland. Switzerland was another team just like Türkiye,
Yeah.
where they were dominating this match. They had plenty of chances. They scored through a penalty, but then Qatar with a late equalizer, and it's the first World Cup points for Qatar as well. Their first point in a World Cup. Then Brazil and Morocco draw 1-1. A lot of 1-1s the other day, as Morocco had the first goal, really beautiful goal by Morocco, and then Logan just had to talk bad about Vinny Jr. and Brazil equalized.
I might have called him second tier elite. He's not. He's just not the prolific goal scorer that you think
Part of
of
it's
when you
probably because
think
he's a
of.
winger, right?
It is.
But,
It is a lot of that, but
yeah.
I think he's not. You cannot put him in the same goal scoring tier that you would put somebody like Harry Kane and Haaland. I know those are the top scorers, but like,
Yeah. To
he's
be
not
fair,
then he's not a golden
so to
boot
be
guy.
fair to you, Vinny doesn't score a lot for Brazil.
Right.
Does well at Madrid. So, it's one of those things where he hasn't showed up for Brazil that much in like 50 games. He's had like 10 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great record, but
serviceable.
He had like 20 some goals and double digit assists for Madrid this year.
Yeah.
And then Scotland get their first ever World Cup match win since 1990, 1-0 over Haiti. But if you look at the stats, Haiti
looked a lot better than
Haiti
Scotland
did look better than I thought they would. So here's the thing. This is what we're looking at. With Brazil and Morocco having one. So Canada's group wide open. All of them are at 1 point. Really wide open. Canada breathed a sigh of relief when Qatar equalized, because it is really open for Canada to win that group. Brazil and Morocco played to a 1-1 draw. Amazingly, by the way, because Brazil had a really bad first half, then they equalized, and then they looked really good in that second half. And they were making subs that Morocco wasn't making, and I'm like, they need to change this game. Like, Morocco needs something here.
They took Casemiro off, and then that was a big difference, because Casemiro was just getting blown by.
Morocco scores, was very close to scoring late as well. Very open game that one was. And then with that, and Scotland beating Haiti, is Scotland on top of the group. Now, here's the thing. I know the Scots are happy, and I think soak it in. First win since 1990, all that. But here's where you can run into trouble with this group. Brazil and Morocco got their hard game out of the way first, and they drew. Nobody is down on points in that. You could say maybe Brazil is because they think they should have won or whatever. But whatever happens next, Brazil gets 3 points. If Morocco gets 3 points, they're at 4. And that would, if that's happening, that means Scotland would have lost, which means you'd have a 4-4-3-0 points spread over top of, it would be what? Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, Haiti. If those results happen like that, going into the last game, I do think Scotland is maybe pretty set to be a top third place team since they got the 3 points. If they had held on to 0-0 or 1-1, it'd be a little bit dicier for them. But I mean, Haiti looked a lot better than I thought they would. I actually predicted this scoreline right. I've been doing the Fat Mob predicts, and this is the only one I got completely right yesterday with Scotland 1-0 over Haiti. So I felt pretty good about that.
Scotland really struggled with their speed. Like, Haiti just was like going all around them. Their striker's the size of a linebacker. I thought a football player had snuck in from the Patriots. So I was like, that dude is a large man. And he was just manhandling the Scottish. It was like, oh Lord. But yeah, Jordan, you're right. Like, the next game too it's Morocco, Scotland, Brazil, Haiti. So it'll be like, that's probably the most pivotal game, the Scotland Morocco game. Because I think Brazil ends up coming out on top in that group still, but without fail, Morocco could very well, if they take care of business, be right there to try to take down Brazil in that group. And I still think Scotland, even though they've got the 3 points, I just don't feel confident in the fact that they're going to win either games against Morocco or Brazil.
So when we play Australia, they play Morocco. Scotland will play Morocco at 6 that night, and then Brazil will play Haiti. You would expect Brazil to beat Haiti. I would expect Morocco to beat Scotland, and like I said
Yeah.
before, that then puts us at 4-3-3-0 on the point spread,
Right.
which then means Scotland has to face Brazil the last game. These might be the only 3
Yeah.
points Scotland gets, right?
Yeah.
Like,
They
and
top
then it's
loaded there.
then it's going to be about goal differential. How many are you giving up against Brazil, and Morocco if they're going to move on? That's going to be the tough thing.
Yeah.
And then for Friday night, Turkey Paraguay at 11:00. So that'll be Friday. Friday's gonna have a good slate of games though.
Scotland and a Scotland draw with either of those two teams is massive for them.
Yes. Oh yeah, that'd be huge. That'd be huge.
That's what they want. Like I don't think they beat either of those teams outright.
No.
So they're gonna want to draw. I just don't. I think Morocco might be the way that Brazil played in that second half. Morocco might be your better chance.
You got to get a point against Morocco to feel good about the possibility of moving on as a third place team for Scotland. Yeah. And again, like, yeah, you know, that's what the World Cup is about. Like, look, Curaçao's getting beat 4-1 right now, but the moment of them equalizing for the Curaçao fans will be like what they talk about for years.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, same thing with Scotland. First World Cup win since 1990. That's before I was born. Like, that's a huge thing for them. But like, you know, for the fans, the players have to go out there and try to get a point next game. But you know, it's going to be tough. I think tough for them.
Yeah, usually your next step it's growth, right? Like get into the tournament, and then it's equalize or at least put up a good fight against one of these teams. And I thought they did a great job in the first half against the 2-1 against Germany. They'll write home about that. But next year when they grow, you know, and that's hard for them to do because there's only 150 some odd people in that 150,000 people on that island. So it's hard to, you know, that pool is not huge, but there is growth, I think, as far as these players that are younger that get to play. I mean, they're probably bringing kids that they wouldn't even go anywhere close to some of these teams to even play for. But they're fans, man. I mean, they're showing them right now. They're so excited to be there, and that's such a cool thing that this feel. And I think they're going to open it up even more. So I think that you're going to even see smaller countries in it.
Yeah, we just talked about it last time. They're talking about for the 100th, which is the next World Cup. They're talking about opening the 64. I mean, there's a chance,
you know,
but you know, look, Curaçao though got in through CONCACAF, and 3 teams automatically qualify in CONCACAF, so it's going to be harder for them because like then U.S., Mexico, and Canada re-enter the CONCACAF qualifying.
Right.
But I mean, look, I mean, like Jamaica didn't qualify, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay, so I guess last things before we get out of here. How are you feeling about the hydration breaks, and then or as we like to call them, commercial breaks here?
I think it bothers everybody but U.S. fans, to be honest with you, because U.S. fans are so used to the NBA Finals, and that was currently going on.
Yeah,
it ended last night, unfortunately, and Knicks won. But I mean, this
it's
is
a
what
good
the
thing
U.S.
that they won. Actually,
it's not a good thing that they won.
Just to get
don't ever say that.
The NBA Finals over with
out of the way.
Cup. Yeah,
you know what's funny though? I did see a lot of people on X reacting. I forgot that the Game 5 was on tonight because I was watching Haiti and Scotland. Which, I mean, honestly, I put it way above. I watched it. Yeah, I watched it before I even turned the next game on. And I turned the next game on after, and then I fell asleep because there's no way I could have stayed up past midnight. I was dying trying to finish that Knicks game, and then I was really sad going to bed because they won. But yeah, it's good now. All of the U.S. sports that really matter are out of the way because baseball's on and nobody gives a crap about the baseball. So
especially midsummer, like
right,
you know,
midsummer,
it's a long
your team
season.
sucks. It's horrible.
Yeah, what happened to the Cubs, man? What's going on there?
They're playing like they came from Curaçao. So so I don't know what happened. No, yeah, it's been no pitching, and then their hitting sucks. But that's a whole different podcast.
One that we used to have.
Right. Yeah. One that we went defunct. But yeah, Jordan, I mean, gosh, it's so exciting to know that there's 3 more games on today. That my wife has been, she's not a big fan of watching it. She doesn't like, you know what's funny, and this is a complaint for people. Soccer, I will say, soccer does have that constant fan buzz that like either they're chanting or they're hitting things or they're like
There's
yelling or the
constant
whistles.
movement. There's
Yeah,
constant movement
but the
too.
fan things what's bother her, like the noise. So she
Okay.
puts on her headphones, listens to audiobooks. But every once in a while, Jordan, I'll catch her like kind of like, what are they doing? Like
Looking
that's
up,
kind of
yeah.
fascinating. Yeah. She hates that the players dive, which I mean, it's kind of what soccer is known for, is the diving
It happens
around.
in every sport.
Right.
And they actually corrected it when Almiron
Yes.
dove.
Perfect. And
I don't want
install
to hear
that
any
into the
more
NBA.
complaints. Don't want to hear any more complaints about diving
Nope.
because they fixed it. It's done.
It's such a good system too. I love it. Like I loved I the jokes were kind of mean, but I did enjoy the fact that that it's called the mistaken identity. That's a wild term to
Or as it's called in Spanish, confusión de identidad. I was like, oh, they're confused about the identity. I wonder what's going on here. I was like, oh, they might take this card away.
Yeah.
So I was able to figure that out.
Yep.
But then one of the announcers did then later say mistaken identity. I
That's
was
funny.
like, okay. But I was
That's
like, it says confusión de identidad right there. So so I know those words now in Spanish. But yeah, so I guess let's go through the groups real quick before we wrap it up. Just you know, I know we talked about everything, but the actual standings. So let's kind of take a look at what games are coming up here. Mexico lead their group with 3 points. They have a +2 goal differential. South Korea's in second with 3 points, and they have a 1 goal differential. Czechia is in third with 0 with a -1, and South Africa is in fourth with -2. South Africa also has 2 players that are not going to be able to play with the red card. So unfortunately, their tournament's pretty much done.
Africa's pretty excited about them being out. Which
That's what I hear. Yeah.
I understand though. I get it.
Group B, Switzerland, Canada, Qatar, Bosnia, all 1 point on the table there. Now Canada, their next match is against Qatar. So they won't have to face Switzerland until the last game. So they might actually be in a pretty good spot when they have to go up against Switzerland. You know, the Swiss are kicking themselves after that game against Qatar. They had so many chances to put that one away.
Yeah, and then their defense opened up like the cheese.
Yeah, like we said, yeah, like Swiss cheese. Yeah, they weren't as handy as a Swiss Army knife either.
No, they were not. We got puns for days for these guys. It's a big plus, you know.
Group C. Group C, Scotland with 3 points, +1 goal differential. Morocco and Brazil with 1 point. Haiti, -1 goal differential, 0 points. And then the USA lead Group D with Australia. That's right. I saw a tweet earlier. The people that call it soccer leading the group.
Damn right. That's what we're going to change it to when we win it all.
Turkey and Paraguay with 0 points. Paraguay sit with a -3 goal differential. I guess one thing that helps them is that Turkey led up 2 against Australia. It wasn't a 1-0 win, so they have a -2 goal differential right now, Turkey. And
that's
then,
a 5 goal difference between them and the U.S. That's huge.
As of this recording, Germany has matched the U.S. scoreline 4-1 with 30 minutes to play. They lead their group. Ecuador and Ivory Coast will play later tonight at 7 p.m. 4 o'clock, we get Netherlands facing off against Japan, which should be a really fun match. And then at 10 o'clock tonight, Sweden and Tunisia. So those will be a lot of fun.
Tunisia had a big upset last World Cup they did that? I feel like they beat somebody, that name for some reason.
Let me see if I can
upset somebody. Why does that name feel?
I'll try to double check for you real quick here.
Okay.
They beat Iran in the World Cup.
That's what it was.
They drew with Denmark.
Yeah.
And then they lost to Australia.
Yeah, because they were kind of like a pretty shocking story from what I remember.
Yeah, you're right. So they had 4 points going into that Australia match in 2022. Let's see where they finished the group last time.
That's a real tough group. I mean,
they finished third. They finished third without being able to move on with 4 points.
So they probably got in time.
Australia got 6 points out of that group. It was a France, Australia, Tunisia, Denmark.
Yeah, that was a tough group. They're in a tough group again. Like they just Those poor people. They would just.
Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong. So the Iran one was a friendly. Sorry, they beat France after the Australia game. That's where the big.
That's what it was. Yeah, I knew they beat somebody. I was like, they definitely shocked somebody.
Yeah. So Tunisia looking to do it again against Sweden. Europe hasn't looked great so far. No. Maybe this is the best one right now. Germany. None of the big, not a lot of the big teams have played yet, but Scotland won. Switzerland was a draw. Bosnia drew with Canada, and then Czechia losing to South Korea. So none of the big Europeans have really started playing until right now. But
their big hitters are coming.
But the Euro teams haven't been great so far. Germany had a scare with the Curacao equalizer. They've since put that to bed, and they might be scoring a fifth one here. And they wide. All right, so before we head out, let's open up our McDonald's cups. We went to. This is not an ad, by the way. We went to McDonald's.
I wish it was.
We got our cups.
There it is.
You want to go open yours?
I'll let
you open yours first.
Okay. I hope this is not too much bad ASMR.
I got a meal for my wife and a meal for me. So.
I know. We did the little ball plushie, the plush mellow. What they call those things?
Squishmallow for the Happy Meal.
Yeah, and our cats love it. All right, here we go. Who did I get last time? Jimenez.
You had Jimenez, from Mexico.
Okay, so anybody but him.
Yeah,
which is the person I did not want. All right, you ready? The slow reveal. Oh heck yeah! I got Son.
Oh, that's a really cool one. Oh my god,
that is sick. The tiger.
Yeah,
that is sick.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
I'm really happy. Yeah, I'm really happy with that.
All right,
I love Son.
My turn. I have two. Also bought some Panini stickers. Not opening those up on here. Obviously, that'd take forever. But I did just see, by the way, my Coca-Cola one. It's Edson Alvarez, one of the couple I'm missing of the Coke ones. So
look at you go.
All right, ready? Here we go. Better not be Grimace again. It's oh, there we go. It's
Lamine Yamal. That's
one of the ones I don't have.
Look at us.
So I have 5 out of 9.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest chase, right? Lamine, maybe Pele.
They don't have Pele. It's Ronaldinho.
I thought it was Pele.
And then they have. So here's the ones I need for the people listening. I need Ronaldinho now, Thierry Henry, and Son, and Alphonso Davies. So we are looking for one of those right here. Not Grimace. I have 3 Grimace cups. Please do not be Grimace. And it is Ronaldinho.
Look at that.
Yeah. What a day. I have 6 of the 9.
That's solid though. Like it is so hard not to get. I've seen so many people pulling Grimace. I was like, no. I mean, I need him, but like, I might just end up buying.
My only double is Grimace.
And you know what, too, Jordan? Like they are plastic, but they're not like they don't feel cheap. Yeah, they're like
they are nice. Again, this is not an ad. They are top rack dishwasher safe as well.
Oh, they are. I need to wash mine then.
So I washed mine through there. I did not have time to wash. Our dishwasher is broken right now. We've been using paper stuff all right now.
Yeah,
paper and plastic. They were supposed to come on Friday. They pushed it to Tuesday. So Tuesday, I should get it fixed, and I'll be able to wash some of these.
You know why they're not coming on Friday?
It was supposed to be last Friday.
Oh, okay. So they're coming this Tuesday.
Yeah, they're coming this.
Okay, I thought you meant.
Well, no, I could not last another week.
They wanted to watch the World Cup. Is what they wanted to do.
That's what they were.
Why they
I can have it on for them here if they want.
I was going to say you should be like, guys, if you're not coming over because of the World Cup, like I got you covered. Now it might be in Spanish, but
yeah.
So if you know the language, like it'll be solid. But if not, just a precursor to what you're going to be in for.
So I just need Son and Alphonso Davies and. Who else did I say? Thierry Henry. That'd be great.
That is really solid. I don't know if I've seen anybody that's gotten all 9 yet.
I know. I would have done that pretty quick.
I'm sure people have it. But
I got Pulisic last night, and then I got I think that's when I got my 3rd Grimace. Last night.
DoorDashers probably hate to see us coming.
It helps though. I actually go and pick them up. But it actually helps that I got my wife as well, because like she'll eat the nuggets or whatever. I'm so glad
Yeah.
it's not just the Big Macs, because I'm like, I would never eat one then. But like with it being the nuggets, I'm like, I can easily get that, no problem.
I went on DoorDash today to get mine. They're also doing it with the sausage McMuffin
Breakfast, yeah.
and then something else too. So there are 4 opportunities to get your FIFA World Cup McDonald's cups. So.
And again, really want to stress, we're not being paid for this. We just love McDonald's.
Yeah, Jordan, I do wish it was the 90s again, only because I wanted the lead poisoning that came with the glass cups.
I did really good Batman cups back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, they make somebody deadly ill if you drink out of them.
Were they? Were they actually lead?
No. McDonald's actually was one of the only ones that got away with. Like, we have tons of the Disney McDonald's ones, and they were like, no, those are completely safe. McDonald's used a different company that didn't use lead, and were pretty proactive about not allowing that to happen. So, the kids don't understand the lead poisoning that was happening with toys.
Germany just scored again.
See, we're no longer the best team in the World Cup.
There you go. See how outdated that was?
Right.
Okay. Hold on. Before we close this out, I want to check their stats and see if they've passed the 30 shots while we're on air. So I know for sure then at that point. They've had 22 shots.
I was going to say, it doesn't felt like that as much.
They're just converting. So Turkey is watching this like, why couldn't we have put 5 of those away?
Right.
5 of those 30 away. Unless this gets called back. He looks on to me, but we'll see.
Can I also say that Australia's got the best song to end the games? They were playing on when they win that Down Under by
Men at Work.
Thank you.
They also have a great national anthem, which of course is the Bluey theme song. Seen a lot of people. I saw an edit putting that.
Did you see BTS? BTS's Korea's. I was like, that's pretty solid.
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. US was of course, it's the Born in the USA, which I'm like, that's that's fitting. Or West Virginia, like that's a song that everybody loves. That West Virginia.
One side. He's on 5-1. Our
homeland, Jordan, Germany.
Yeah. You're from there too, right? There you go.
Half.
All right. Well, I guess that's about it. I guess they're doing the hydration break right now. But at the hydration break, 70 minutes in, Germany lead 5-1. Highest score line so far of the tournament. And yeah, so after a little bit of a scare there that they had. But anyway, we're still very high on the U.S. men's national team results.
Mm-hmm.
At Stateside Show on all of our social media, we'll have to see about next week's recording. I might be able to fit it in on Sunday if you are. It's Father's Day. I don't know how that's going to work, but
yeah, that'll work for me. I'm good to go on Father's Day.
Yeah. So I might still be able to time this during Landon's nap. So that would be the
tell him that you want to record with Logan.
It's my day.
Right.
It is my
so you
day.
Want to record.
I want to record about the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait. USA, Australia. Oh, that's what I want to do. I want to say the games coming up. Look, we'll skip today's games real quick because this episode will be out. We mentioned them. Tomorrow, what day is that? Monday? We kick off at 12 o'clock, Spain and Cape Verde. I was listening to some previews. Cape Verde was actually really good in qualifying too. So they might be better than I thought.
They were a dark horse pick for a lot of people.
Yeah. And then at 3 o'clock, Belgium, Egypt. 6 o'clock is Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, and 9 o'clock is Iran, New Zealand. Then on Tuesday, we have only 3 games: France, Senegal, Iraq, Norway, and Argentina and Algeria. Those are at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. I'm telling you, I love so much having it here.
Yes.
I know some of these games are late, but like my son goes to bed at 8. So yeah. I get those 9 and 12 a.m. games, 10 o'clock, whatever time those games are. No interruption. And then Wednesday, we have a 12 a.m. game. So that's technically a Tuesday game, I guess. So 5 games on Wednesday because it's technically the new day, but in the West Coast, it's the Tuesday game. Austria, Jordan. That's right. I will be taking the field that day. See how I do there.
You'll be worn out for Sunday if you play.
I will. Well, it's just me, so I'm not expecting to put up much of a big thing. Where am
Are
I
you
playing?
are you in the US?
Yes, it's San Francisco.
Okay.
So I'll be there. I'm gonna fly over there. I'm playing against 11 people, so it's gonna be a really bad game. I won't be too exhausted then. I'm not tracking
I
the
was
ball
gonna
down
say,
ever.
yeah, you might as well just get a red card and then you don't have to worry about it
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. What would happen in that case?
Yeah,
One guy on the field,
forfeit.
red card,
Yeah,
done.
that's it.
Portugal, DR Congo, 1:00. As Portugal, a team a lot of people have as picks of winning it. Logan, the man across me, does here as well. They kick off their tournament on Wednesday. Some of these teams like don't start till Wednesday and Thursday. It's crazy.
It's so
How many
like
we have.
England waiting this long is like I was like, when does England play? Because it seems
Yeah.
like they're probably like, gosh, they're probably so anxious.
They're the appropriately titled Group L. England and
Losers.
Croatia, 4:00. We'll face off at 4:00. That's a big one for them. I had Croatia winning the group. I know a lot of people have England going far. I'm not a big Tuchel believer. Part of me thinks now maybe that's just a Chelsea thing as a Chelsea fan because I was kind of hesitant on Pochettino. He was really good at Spurs. I wanted him at Chelsea. Didn't do great at Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe it's just an issue with Chelsea.
They're Harry Kane's really good, but Jordan, I will say their team is in kind of a weird, like Phil Foden
not bringing
like
Foden
Palmer's,
and Palmer. What
yeah,
the
that's
hell,
a wild. Man? Yeah, I mean Foden's not been great, but like Neymar. Hell, they brought Neymar, and he's only played in one game in the last. And hell, Noir came out of retirement to play. So
yeah, he's 40 years old too.
Yeah, he's been sitting on the beach for international forever.
Ghana and Panama at 7 to finish out that group, and then back to Group K for Uzbekistan, Colombia at 10:00, and then Thursday the groups start over again. We have Czechia, South Africa at 12, Switzerland, Bosnia at 3, Canada, Qatar at 6, and Mexico, South Korea at 9:00. Oh, I'm so glad that one's the 9:00 game. Then on Friday, USA kick us off against Australia at 3:00 in Seattle at a place called Seattle Stadium. And then
oh yeah, they can do branding deals. I was like, wait, what?
6:00, Scotland, Morocco, Brazil, Haiti at 8:30, and then Türkiye, Paraguay at 11. Saturday has just the 3 games. We have Netherlands, Sweden, Germany, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, Curacao, and then Tunisia, Japan, early Sunday morning, 12 a.m. And then maybe we'll be recording during Spain, Saudi Arabia. We'll see how that goes. But that's what the World Cup is. It's so glad to finally have the World Cup back on our screens. Thank you all for watching or listening along, and we'll catch you next time when we break down the rest of the action here, USA World Cup.